And the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has underscored the far-reaching implications of the ongoing Supreme Court case concerning parliamentary authority and its impact on Ghana's democratic governance. The case arose from a lawsuit filed by Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin, who sought judicial clarification on the Speaker's declaration of 4 parliamentary seats as vacant. Now, recently, the Supreme Court issued a stay on Bagbin's initial ruling, temporarily halting his decision. Addressing journalists in Accra on Wednesday, November 6, Bagbin stressed that the case has the potential to shape future precedents on the separation of powers with significant consequences for the balance of authority between Parliament and the judiciary. Now, we're joined on phone by Dr. Rashid Draman, Executive Director for the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, to speak on this matter. Thank you so much for joining us, Doc. First off, I'll take your initial thoughts on the comments of the Speaker, and then also I'll have you comment on whether or not you got the indication of the Speaker making a decision or a ruling regarding the direction by the court.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. If I may start with what I make of the comments from the Right Honorable Speaker. I thought, first of all, he was very calm. I'm sure many expected kind of a confrontational, posture. But I saw him very calm, and he tried to explain the matters that are bordering the relationship between Parliament and the 2 other arms of government in as clear a manner as he can, particularly, the scenes, if I can call them that way, because those are his words, the scenes of the executive, I think, against the Constitution, and then the scenes of the judiciary against the Constitution, where he said, for instance, there is nowhere in the Constitution that the president can even veto. He said the framers of our Constitution decided to take away that power from the president, but the president refused to even accept the word that was coming from Parliament, which is, I think, against the Constitution. He also, in a very clear manner, and that's the view that some of us hold, talked about, the Supreme Court or judicial review is possible, but only when Parliament has finished its work, so that the judiciary would come in. And indeed, in fact, that's the view that some of us hold in terms of, the issues of separation of powers and how to make sure that, Parliament in future doesn't get immobilized because somebody doesn't like what is happening. Even before Parliament finishes its work, they run to the court. And for me, that is a precedent that we have to try as much as possible, to manage. Because look, they are politicians because we need them to sit down and talk. They are politicians because they have to always negotiate, so that every little difficulty, if you don't want to sit down and talk to your opponent, then you run to the court. You are, inviting the court too much into your space. And tomorrow the court might do something, and then you find yourself maybe in a very difficult situation, and then you want to complain. Then you would have set the precedent already. So I thought the Right Honorable Speaker tried to explain all these things. But fundamentally, coming back to the rulings and so on and his position, I think they asked him, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? He said he doesn't know.
Yeah.
And he also said that negotiations never took place. And that's what some of us have been saying. The legal approach alone cannot resolve this issue. And you heard from the NDC, their press conference right now.
Yeah.
So it looks as if nobody was talking behind the scenes. Nobody was getting these 2 sides to sit down and negotiate and tell them that is exactly what we expect you to do in the first instance. And then when it becomes intractable, when it becomes like maybe you're not willing to talk,
right,
then maybe other kind of approaches can come in. But even before any attempt at talking, we invite the court into the space of Parliament. So I think all in all, my summary of it all is that all is not well. We still are going to have some serious challenges tomorrow.
Very well, Doc. Unfortunately, we'll have to leave it here, but thank you so much for your time. We'll reach out to you again in our subsequent bulletins for further discussions regarding Parliament and, of course, parliamentary proceedings. Thank you so much for your time. Dr. Rashid Draman is the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs at SEPA.